Hello, we are moving on to Chapter 7. Chapter 7 is what is violence? Basically, we're going to be talking about how to prevent violence. Unfortunately, in this world, we can't always be 100% safe. So for Section 1, you're going to be reading violence and health, how it affects you, the cost of the victim, the assailant, how it affects society, those three things there. You're going to define what a victim is. It's a person who was attacked. I personally was attacked by 3 people when I was in college, so it's a pretty sensitive subject, but I overcame it. The assailants would be the person that attacked me. Okay, there were 3 of them. And then sometimes how does violence affect our society? Sometimes being in a violent environment affects your stress level, affects your well-being. You might even become violent, so we need to make sure that we learn to make good choices, like I always say, and to get help when needed. So there's some risk factors revolving violence. You have poverty, you have family issues like family violence, like abuse. You have media violence, so you can be bullied, harassed, people videotaping other individuals when they don't want to be videotaped. I mean, social media is a good thing, but it's a lot of bad as well. So you have to be smart about that. Poverty, unfortunately, everybody, can afford a house or live in a really nice environment. Unfortunately, too, when it comes to poverty, there's a lot of like drugs and alcohol and gangs involved. You have family violence. So sometimes a lot of family violence is involved because of drugs and alcohol. Economic issues. People get stressed out and angry because maybe they can't provide for their family. You have issues regarding weapons. People maybe have weapons that, they're not getting it through the law, like proper way of getting a firearm. You have people that are using other, like knives or other means of trying to harm individuals. So again, those are factors regarding violence. Of course, drug abuse. You have, I mentioned about gangs, so people try to feel like they need to feel involved or get along or feel included. So sometimes some kids or people that live in low economic areas, they will tendency to have to go toward gangs because they feel included, and those gangs usually are ones that make poor choices and then are against the law. So that aspect is Section 1. Section 2, violence in schools. So like in my 25 plus years of teaching, definitely it's changed a lot from the first time that I started teaching to recently. So, we want to make sure that everyone is safe in school. That's why we have our fire alarms, our tornado drills, fire drills, tornado drills. We have our lockdown drills, intruder drills. The intruder and lockdown was never around when I was a kid. So these are things that happen in our life that we have to, be precautionary measures and do the best that we can. You have issues regarding harassment, bullying, social media bullying, and face-to-face bullying. You have social media would be more cyberbullying. Those are against the law. So if you do anything like harassing somebody or taunting someone via social media, none of that's, taken away. If you delete something, it's still there. So it's a federal offense. So you gotta be careful when you're doing stuff like that. You shouldn't be doing it in the first place. People think, oh, I'm just teasing the individual, but that teasing could escalate into bullying. And basically, it's anytime someone feels a physical threat or a force of being intimidated by somebody, that is someone who's being bullied. You have hazing. Sometimes you'll have like teams that will like you have to do a certain activity, or they gang up on the freshmen and their upperclassmen kind of thing. And hazing's against school policies, is against Michigan High School Athletic Association rules. Most colleges don't condone hazing. They shouldn't. It's against the law. But sometimes you may have like fraternities or sororities that you have to do certain things to get in that group. But again, hazing is definitely a violent act that could escalate into other situations. So it's against the law. It's degrading. You shouldn't be harassed or hazed because you are the underclassman, or you may have to do certain activities to be included. You shouldn't have to do that. So there's hazing regarding like your gender, like you're male or female. Preventing hazing, you want to make sure you read about how you prevent that. You want to make sure that your school does not promote that. I, as a coach, definitely do not promote any of that type of scrutiny or ostracizing of any person on our team. I consider our team a family, so I don't condone that behavior whatsoever. My athletes don't go through a certain criteria to be on the team other than their skill level. They don't have to like run around the building or harm people. So you want to make sure that you're conducting yourself in a positive manner. And if you are in a club or a team that you feel you're being harassed or hazed, you need to let an adult that you trust know. All right, moving on to sexual harassment. Of course, sexual harassment is against the law. It says here that it's a uninvited or unwelcomed sexual remark. So it's someone saying something to you who's trying to have sexual advances. So, for example, if someone's walking down the street and they're like, "Hey, you're looking good in that outfit," that makes you feel uncomfortable, or a remark that someone made about you in a sexual manner, that's sexual harassment, and that's against the law. And you want to make sure that you document anything if something like that is happening to you. Of course, be assertive and tell them, don't talk to me that way. Who do you think you are? It's just, you need to be respectful to individuals. And if you are being attacked sexually, verbally, which could escalate into sexual harassment physically, you need to ask for help. You need to call the police. You need to document. A lot of times, a lot of teens nowadays are sexually harassed over social media. They want certain pictures of you, or they give you certain pictures of them. Again, that is against the law. That falls under pornography. So that's definitely unacceptable behavior. Moving on to section 2, we have like hate violence in here. We talk about being prejudiced and against and intolerant of people's differences. You shouldn't do that. It doesn't matter if this person has green hair, purple hair, or no hair, or they like a certain team, or they like certain food, or they're hanging out with a certain group, or they're believing in a certain value. You shouldn't be putting people down for that. Everyone's different, and you should accept everyone's differences. Discrimination against someone's ethnicity, their culture, their religion. Discrimination against a male or a female, that's uncalled for in all aspects. So how you can reduce that is just accept people for who they are. I myself am like the minority in my field of PE and sports, and there's been times in my career that I've been discriminated because of my gender. Some people don't think women can coach boys, or women can coach, period, or because we're not strong enough for whatever reasons. So, of course, I have to still, sometimes to this day, have to fight that battle. To me, a good coach doesn't matter who it is, male or female. It doesn't matter if I coach females or males. I'm there to coach the sport and people, students, children. So you want to make sure that you're not judging. It's hard not to judge people. Let's be real. People judge, what they're wearing, or, who you hang out with. But honestly, discrimination is wrong. It's against the law. And you got to make sure that you're not hanging out with people that make poor choices and are judging others. All right, you should really accept everyone for who we are as people. It's okay that you like different things. It's okay that you may have purple hair or earrings in different, on your face or in your nose or what have you. It's okay that you may like certain music, because again, you shouldn't judge people for what they like or what makes them happy. Okay, and people who do that are just really insecure. They're not open up their mind to other possibilities of how a different perspective, right? I always say, all my students, you all look alike to me. And people are like, "What do you mean, Mrs. Hawkins? We all look alike to you. I don't look like him, or I don't look like her." And to me, I'm like, you're all high schoolers. Male, female, doesn't matter to me. You're all students. You all look alike to me. So I do not look at anyone differently than you're just high schoolers. So again, we all bleed red. So again, that's just be polite, be respectful. You hear the old saying, treat others the way you want to be treated. Absolutely. If you want to be treated nice, you should be nice. So you're going to do the section questions for sections 1 and 2. And yeah, that's it. So I'll be talking to you shortly regarding section 3. Take care.